Have you ever observed how people suddenly start craving your attention the moment you stop caring? It's almost as if the less invested you are, the more they desire to regain your interest. This shift in dynamics, where someone who once seemed indifferent becomes desperate, is something many of us have experienced, yet it remains perplexing. Why does this happen? What changes when you lose interest, and how can understanding this help you maintain control in your relationships? In this video, we'll explore the psychological underpinnings of this phenomenon, delving into why people get desperate when they sense you've moved on. We'll also uncover how Stoic philosophy, an ancient wisdom that champions self-control, detachment, and inner peace, can offer valuable insights and strategies to navigate these situations with composure and strength. Imagine this. You've been in a relationship where you always initiated contact, made plans, and kept the connection alive. Over time, you start to feel taken for granted, so you decide to step back and focus on yourself. Suddenly, the other person begins to pursue you with a renewed intensity, sending messages, making plans, and showing affection in ways they never did before. This is the desperation that comes when they realize you're no longer invested. What if you could understand this behavior, not from a place of confusion or frustration, but with a clear, calm mind? What if you could use this knowledge to stay grounded and avoid the emotional ups and downs that often come with such situations? That's where Stoicism comes in, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control, detach from what we cannot, and find peace within ourselves, regardless of how others behave. In today's discussion, we'll unravel the reasons behind this desperation, connect it to Stoic principles, and offer practical advice on how to apply these teachings in your own life. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of why people act this way and how you can navigate these dynamics with confidence and serenity. The dynamics of human relationships are intricate, often governed by unconscious behaviors and deep-seated psychological principles. One of the most intriguing patterns is how people seem to want what they can no longer have. When you lose interest in someone, whether it's in a romantic relationship, a friendship, or a professional connection, they often start to pursue you more vigorously. This shift can leave you feeling puzzled, questioning why they didn't show this level of interest when you were fully engaged. This phenomenon isn't just anecdotal. It's rooted in psychological principles like the scarcity effect, which suggests that people tend to place a higher value on things that are less available or more difficult to obtain. When your attention, once abundant, becomes scarce, it triggers a response in the other person that can lead to desperate attempts to regain what they fear they've lost. But understanding why this happens is just the first step. The real power lies in how you respond to this desperation. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that emphasizes self-control, emotional resilience, and detachment from external validation, can be incredibly valuable. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while letting go of what we cannot control, such as the behavior of others. In this video, we're going to explore why people get desperate when they sense that you've lost interest, and how applying Stoic principles can help you maintain control over your emotions, avoid getting swept up in the drama, and stay true to your values. We'll dive into the psychological reasons behind this behavior, connect them to Stoic teachings, and offer practical advice on how to navigate these situations with grace and confidence. By the end of this discussion, you'll not only understand why people behave this way, but you'll also have the tools to handle it with the wisdom and composure that Stoicism offers. Whether you're dealing with a romantic partner who suddenly can't stop texting, a friend who's reaching out after a long period of silence, or a colleague who's now desperate to get you back on board, this video will help you approach these situations with a calm, clear mind. Explanation of the phenomenon. So, why do people get desperate when they realize you've lost interest? To understand this, we need to delve into the psychology of human behavior, particularly the concepts of scarcity and fear of loss. When something we value becomes less available, our desire for it often intensifies. This is a well-documented psychological principle known as the scarcity effect. The scarcity effect suggests that people tend to value things more when they perceive them as being in limited supply. This principle is often used in marketing, where products advertised as limited edition or while supplies last tend to sell faster because consumers perceive them as more valuable. The same principle applies in human relationships. When you lose interest in someone, you unconsciously create a sense of scarcity. Your attention, once readily available, is now less accessible. This sudden change can trigger a fear of loss in the other person. They start to worry that they're losing something valuable, something they perhaps didn't fully appreciate when it was abundantly available. This fear of loss can lead to a variety of desperate behaviors. The person might start reaching out more frequently, trying to engage you in conversation, or making grand gestures to win back your attention. They may express regret, apologize for past behaviors, or suddenly show an interest in your life that they never showed before. This behavior isn't limited to romantic relationships. It can happen in friendships, where a friend who rarely made time for you starts reaching out more when you become distant. It can occur in professional settings, where a boss or colleague who previously took your efforts for granted suddenly starts to recognize your contributions when you begin to disengage. Understanding this dynamic is crucial because it allows you to see the situation for what it is, a reaction driven by the other person's fear and insecurity, not necessarily a genuine change in their feelings or behavior. When you understand that their desperation is a response to the perceived loss of something valuable, your attention, your presence, your energy, you can choose how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and maintains your emotional balance. Moreover, this awareness can help you avoid getting caught up in their emotional turmoil. When someone is acting out of desperation, they're often not thinking clearly. They may say or do things that are out of character, and if you're not careful, you can get swept up in the drama. By recognizing the psychological principles at play, you can step back, observe the situation with a calm, clear mind, and decide on the best course of action. This is where Stoicism becomes particularly valuable. The Stoic approach to such situations involves maintaining control over your own emotions, not getting caught up in the reactions of others, and focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses. By embracing this mindset, you can navigate these situations with a sense of peace and clarity, avoiding the emotional roller coaster that often comes with such dynamics. In the next sections, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help you maintain this sense of control and composure when others become desperate, and we'll provide practical advice on how to apply these principles in your own life. Stoic perspective. Now that we've explored the psychological reasons behind why people get desperate when you lose interest, let's turn to Stoicism, a philosophy that offers a powerful framework for navigating these situations with grace and strength. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to detach from things beyond our control. This principle is particularly relevant when dealing with people who become desperate after sensing that you've moved on. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the idea of focusing on our own inner life, our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, rather than being overly concerned with the external world. including the opinions and behaviors of others. This doesn't mean that Stoics don't care about other people. Rather, it means that they don't let their happiness or peace of mind depend on external factors that are beyond their control. When someone becomes desperate after realizing that you've lost interest, it's easy to get caught up in their emotions. You might feel flattered by their renewed attention, or you might feel pressured to respond in a way that pleases them. But a Stoic approach would involve stepping back and asking yourself, what is within my control in this situation and what is not? You cannot control how the other person feels or behaves. You cannot control their desperation, their regrets, or their attempts to win you back. What you can control, however, is how you respond to these behaviors. Instead of getting caught up in their emotional drama, Stoicism teaches you to maintain your composure, stay true to your principles, and make decisions based on your own values and well-being, not on their expectations or desires. Another key Stoic principle is the idea of detachment, specifically detachment from others' opinions and reactions. Stoics believe that true freedom comes from within, from being able to live according to your own principles and not being swayed by external events or other people's judgments. When someone becomes desperate after you lose interest, it's important to remember that their behavior is not a reflection of your worth or value. It's a reflection of their own inner struggles and insecurities. By practicing detachment, you can avoid getting emotionally entangled in their desperation. You can observe their behavior without taking it personally, and you can make decisions that are in line with your own values and long-term goals. This might mean maintaining your distance, setting boundaries, or even walking away from the relationship if it no longer serves your well-being. Stoicism also teaches us to cultivate indifference to things that are not within our control. This doesn't mean being apathetic or uncaring. It means recognizing that certain things, such as how others perceive you or react to you, are beyond your control, and therefore should not be the source of your happiness or peace of mind. When you lose interest in someone and they become desperate, it's easy to feel a sense of power or satisfaction. But a true Stoic recognizes that these feelings are fleeting and ultimately inconsequential to their inner peace. Instead of getting swept up in the emotions of the moment, the Stoic approach is to remain grounded, focused on your own inner life, and indifferent to external events that do not affect your core values or principles. This indifference allows you to navigate these situations with clarity and strength, without being pulled into the emotional turmoil of the other person. In practical terms, this might involve practices such as journaling, where you reflect on your thoughts and emotions in a detached, objective manner. Meditation, where you cultivate a sense of inner peace and detachment from external events. Or daily reflection, where you review your actions and decisions and ensure they are in line with your Stoic principles. By embracing these Stoic practices, you can navigate the complex dynamics of human relationships with a sense of calm and clarity, maintaining your own inner peace and well-being, regardless of how others behave. Real-life examples. To better understand how these principles play out in real life, let's look at some scenarios where the dynamic of desperation after losing interest often occurs. These examples will help illustrate how the psychological principles we've discussed, combined with Stoic teachings, can be applied in various types of relationships. Romantic relationships. Imagine you've been in a romantic relationship for a while, and you've always been the one to initiate contact, make plans, and show affection. Over time, you start to feel that your efforts are not being reciprocated, and you begin to feel taken for granted. After some reflection, you decide to step back and focus more on yourself. You stop initiating conversations, you don't make plans as often, and you start spending more time on your own hobbies and interests. Suddenly, your partner begins to notice the change. They start texting you more frequently, asking to see you, and expressing concern about the distance they feel. They might even apologize for not being as attentive and make promises to do better. This is a classic example of how people can become desperate when they sense that they're losing your interest. From a Stoic perspective, this is a moment to practice detachment and focus on what you can control. Instead of being swayed by their sudden attention, take the time to reflect on whether this relationship is truly aligned with your values and whether it contributes to your long-term well-being. If their renewed interest feels genuine and consistent with your needs and values, you might choose to re-engage. However, if it feels like a temporary reaction to your withdrawal, you may decide that maintaining your distance is the best course of action. Friendships. Consider a friendship where you've always been the one to reach out, plan get-togethers, and keep the connection alive. Over time, you begin to notice that your friend rarely reciprocates and often cancels plans or seems disinterested. Feeling unappreciated, you decide to stop making the effort and see what happens. As you pull back, your friend suddenly starts reaching out more often, suggesting plans and expressing how much they miss spending time with you. This change in behavior can feel confusing, especially if you've been feeling neglected for a long time. From a Stoic perspective, this is an opportunity to assess the friendship objectively. Is this a relationship that truly benefits both parties, or is it one-sided? Stoicism teaches you to value relationships that are mutually respectful and supportive, rather than those that drain your energy. If you determine that the friendship is worth maintaining, you might choose to communicate your feelings openly and work on rebuilding the connection. However, if you feel that the friendship only thrives when you're the one making all the effort, it may be time to let it go and focus on relationships that are more balanced. Professional relationships. In the workplace, you might experience a similar dynamic with colleagues or supervisors. Perhaps you've been going above and beyond in your job, taking on extra projects and consistently delivering high-quality work. Despite your efforts, your contributions go unnoticed or unappreciated. Feeling undervalued, you decide to scale back your extra efforts and focus only on your core responsibilities. Soon after, your boss or colleagues start to notice the difference. They might start praising your work, offering new opportunities, or even trying to engage you in projects that they previously ignored. This shift in behavior is driven by the realization that your contributions are valuable, and they fear losing them. In this scenario, Stoicism encourages you to stay grounded and not be swayed by external validation. Instead of being motivated by the sudden praise or attention, focus on whether the changes align with your own goals and values. If the newfound appreciation feels genuine and leads to opportunities that align with your professional growth, it might be worth re-engaging. However, if it feels like a temporary reaction to your withdrawal, it's important to stay true to your principles and not be lured back into a situation where your efforts are taken for granted. Practical Stoic advice. Now that we've explored the dynamics of desperation in various types of relationships and how Stoicism can help you navigate these situations, let's discuss some practical Stoic advice that you can apply in your everyday life. These tips will help you maintain your composure, avoid getting caught up in the emotional drama of others, and stay true to your own values and well-being. 1. Practice. Detachment. Detachment is a core principle of Stoicism. It involves letting go of the need for external validation and not allowing your happiness or peace of mind to depend on how others perceive or react to you. When someone becomes desperate after realizing you've lost interest, practice detaching from their emotions and focusing on your own inner life. This doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means maintaining your emotional balance and not getting swept up in their desperation. 2. Focus on what you can control. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while letting go of what we cannot control, such as the behavior of others. When someone is acting out of desperation, remind yourself that their behavior is beyond your control. What you can control is how you choose to respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, take the time to reflect on what response aligns with your values and well-being. 3. Cultivate indifference to external events. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is cultivating indifference to external events that do not directly impact your core values or principles. This doesn't mean being apathetic. It means recognizing that certain things, such as how others perceive you or react to you, are beyond your control and should not dictate your happiness or peace of mind. By cultivating this indifference, you can navigate situations where others become desperate without being emotionally swayed by their behavior. 4. Engage in daily reflection. Daily reflection is a valuable Stoic practice that involves reviewing your thoughts, actions, and decisions each day to ensure they are in line with your principles. When you find yourself in a situation where someone is acting out of desperation, take the time to reflect on how you've responded and whether your actions align with your values. This practice helps you stay grounded and make decisions that are true to yourself, rather than being influenced by external pressures. 5. Embrace the power of silence. In moments of conflict or heightened emotions, silence can be a powerful tool. Stoicism teaches us that we don't always need to respond immediately or engage in every emotional exchange. Sometimes the best response is to remain silent, giving yourself time to process the situation and respond with clarity and wisdom. When someone is desperate for your attention, embracing silence can help you maintain your composure and avoid getting drawn into unnecessary drama. 6. Set boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential aspect of maintaining your well-being in any relationship. When someone becomes desperate after you lose interest, it's important to set clear boundaries that protect your emotional and mental health. Communicate your needs and limits respectfully, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from situations or people that drain your energy or do not align with your values. 7. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful practice that can help you maintain perspective and focus on what truly matters in life. When you're dealing with someone's desperate behavior, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for, whether it's your own inner strength, the supportive relationships in your life, or the peace of mind that comes from living according to your principles. Practicing gratitude helps you stay grounded and resilient, even in challenging situations. By applying these Stoic practices in your everyday life, you can navigate the complex dynamics of human relationships with a sense of calm, clarity, and confidence. You'll be able to maintain your composure, avoid getting caught up in the emotional drama of others, and stay true to your own values and well-being. As we've explored in this video, the dynamics of desperation in relationships often arise when one person loses interest and the other person suddenly realizes the value of what they're about to lose. This behavior, driven by psychological principles like the scarcity effect and fear of loss, can be challenging to navigate. However, by understanding these dynamics and applying the principles of Stoicism, you can maintain control over your emotions, avoid getting caught up in the drama, and stay true to your values and well-being. We've discussed how Stoic practices like detachment, focusing on what you can control, and cultivating indifference to external events can help you navigate these situations with grace and strength. By embracing these teachings, you can approach relationships with a sense of inner peace and confidence, regardless of how others behave. In today's world, where relationships are often complicated by emotional highs and lows, Stoicism offers a powerful way to maintain your composure and stay grounded in your own principles. Whether you're dealing with a romantic partner, a friend, or a colleague, these Stoic practices can help you navigate the complexities of human relationships with wisdom and clarity. Remember, the key to navigating these situations is to stay focused on what truly matters: your own inner life, your values, and your well-being. By doing so, you can avoid getting swept up in the emotional turmoil of others and maintain a sense of calm and confidence in your own life. If you found the insights in this video valuable, I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to create content that explores the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and its practical applications in modern life. If you're interested in learning more about Stoicism and how it can help you navigate relationships with a Stoic mindset, be sure to check out our related videos on this topic. We have a range of content that delves deeper into Stoic philosophy and offers practical advice for applying these teachings in your everyday life. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.